The wealthy elite don't live where you may think. Everyone pictures Manhattan penthouses and Hamptons estates, the obvious places where rich people cluster. That's the decoy. The wealthy have engineered 7 distinct tiers of elitism, each one more exclusive, more private, more protected than the last. It starts with everyday opulence, where billionaires still share neighborhoods with millionaires. And it ends at places so exclusive that armed security guards prevent entry. We're breaking down all 7 levels of exclusive American towns, from places you can visit, all the way to private islands where you literally are not welcome. Subscribe now, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why billionaires have completely abandoned the neighborhoods you thought they lived in. These are places where successful doctors, lawyers, and tech executives worth $5 to $50 million maintain primary or secondary homes. Occasionally, you'll find billionaires who want to experience normal, wealthy culture, but most residents are highly successful professionals who've done very well for themselves. Paradise Valley, aka the Beverly Hills of Arizona, if Beverly Hills had reasonable property taxes, operates with median home prices approaching $5 million, attracting orthopedic surgeons, successful attorneys, and tech executives who've cashed out of startups. The infrastructure caters to people who are wealthy, but not necessarily world famous. TPC Scottsdale hosts PGA tournaments where successful professionals can buy corporate packages, while True North Golf Club welcomes members who can afford 6-figure initiation fees. Successful cardiologists rotate through Scottsdale from January through March, escaping harsh winters for golf, sunshine, and Arizona's favorable tax structure. These are people worth $20 to $50 million who own multiple properties, choosing climates based on tax advantages and recreational opportunities rather than social status. The Phoenician Spa charges more for treatments than most people's monthly rent, but remains accessible to successful professionals who consider spa treatments a reasonable business expense. Meanwhile, Nobu Scottsdale serves omakase dinners approaching $500 per person. And yes, that's per person, creating the perfect environment where wealthy doctors can dine alongside successful tech executives without anyone feeling out of place. Scottsdale attracts people who've been very successful in their careers, explained one luxury concierge, orthopedic surgeons, successful attorneys, people who sold companies for $50+ million. They can afford luxury without needing to be famous or worth billions. Naples, Florida operates similarly, where successful retirees worth $10 to $50 million maintain winter estates. The Naples Beach Hotel and Golf Club provides the perfect mixing ground where successful professionals enjoy luxury amenities without the pressure of competing with people worth hundreds of millions. You could move here with serious professional success and fit in perfectly. The occasional billionaire might own property here, but they're vastly outnumbered by people who are simply very successful at what they do. Now we're entering communities dominated by people worth $50 to $500 million, ultra-high net worth individuals who've built substantial family wealth through business ownership, successful exits, or generational accumulation. These aren't necessarily household names, but they're people whose wealth requires professional management. Montecito's gated communities like Burnham Wood and Ennisbrook attract families whose net worth ranges from $50 million to several $100 million. These are people who sold companies, inherited substantial family businesses, or built wealth through successful investment careers over decades. The gates exist because when you're worth $200 million, the last thing you need is randos Instagramming your driveway. These are families who value privacy over publicity, preferring to live quietly among other ultra-high net worth families without constant visibility. Residents include entertainment industry executives who aren't household names but control substantial media empires, tech entrepreneurs, and family office principals managing generational wealth. The Montecito Country Club provides social infrastructure where members discuss family foundations, private investment strategies, and estate planning rather than celebrity gossip. Rancho Mirage operates as a desert enclave, attracting similar demographics, people worth $50 to $300 million who appreciate exclusive amenities without needing to be famous. The Vintage Club requires $300,000 initiation fees plus $50,000 annual dues, creating a natural filter for people whose wealth can support such ongoing expenses without stress. Translation: if you're wondering whether you can afford the annual dues, you can't. These communities attract people who are seriously wealthy but not necessarily famous, observed one wealth advisor. Family business owners, successful entrepreneurs, people who've built substantial wealth over time. They want privacy and exclusivity, but they're not trying to hide from paparazzi. Kiawa Island's Ocean House represents the ultimate Level 2 experience, where golf club membership requires $250,000 initiation fees that filter for people whose net worth can support such expenses as routine lifestyle costs rather than major financial decisions. The security is professional, the amenities cater to people accustomed to luxury, and the isolation appeals to families who want to enjoy their wealth privately among other families with similar financial resources. These are resort towns where people worth over $100 million, semi-millionaires who've achieved serious wealth, can relax among others with similar financial resources. You'll find some billionaires mixed in, but the dominant demographic is people whose net worth requires 8 or 9 figures to express. Sun Valley, Idaho epitomizes this level, attracting people who've built substantial wealth through business ownership, successful investment careers, or family enterprises worth hundreds of millions. Population 1,400, billionaires per capita, somehow statistically improbable. Private clubs like the Sun Valley Club cater to people whose wealth allows them to maintain multiple luxury properties without financial stress. These are families who own ski houses, beach houses, and primary residences, treating real estate as a portfolio rather than individual purchases. The Trail Creek Cabin serves luxury dining, where $200 steaks are what you eat on a Tuesday because it's Tuesday. Tech entrepreneurs who sold companies for hundreds of millions discover there's nowhere to stay unless you own property, creating natural exclusivity for people whose wealth allows them to purchase rather than rent luxury accommodations. Carmel by the Sea offers charming coastal living, attracting people whose net worth exceeds $100 million, where former Mayor Clint Eastwood helped establish anti-development policies that maintain exclusivity for people who can afford multi-million-dollar properties as secondary homes. The Cypress Point Club maintains one of golf's most exclusive memberships, where getting invited requires substantial wealth plus social connections that money alone can't buy. Telluride represents the ultimate Level 3 experience, attracting people whose wealth allows them to purchase properties worth tens of millions as vacation homes. The Box Canyon geography creates permanent scarcity that appeals to people who collect rare assets, whether vintage wines, classic cars, or geographically constrained real estate. These towns attract people whose wealth gives them complete lifestyle flexibility, explained one resort town analyst. Centimillionaires who can afford to own multiple luxury properties, plus some billionaires who appreciate the natural exclusivity. The wealth concentration is intense because everyone here has serious money. The Peaks Resort and Spa provides luxury accommodations for people whose wealth makes luxury hotels feel like routine business expenses, while All Reds Restaurant serves fine dining that costs more than most people's weekly grocery budgets, but represents normal entertainment expenses for people worth hundreds of millions. Something is about to shift as we get to Level 4. The billionaire concentration intensifies. Visibility becomes the primary concern. Subscribe and stick around because by Level 7, you're in billionaire-only territory where even other ultra-wealthy people can't afford entry. This is where billionaire clustering actually starts, mixed with ultra-wealthy individuals worth $500 million to $5 billion. These are people whose wealth requires extreme privacy management, whether they're household names or prefer complete anonymity. Atherton, California serves as Silicon Valley's billionaire capital, with median home prices exceeding $10 million. But what makes it invisible is zero commercial zoning, zero Starbucks, zero chance you'll accidentally drive through looking for In-N-Out. Tech billionaires, venture capital partners, and people who've built wealth exceeding $1 billion live here specifically because nobody will accidentally discover them. The Atherton acre minimum lot size prevents density while ensuring that neighbors share similar wealth levels, people whose net worth starts at hundreds of millions and extends into the billions. Sheryl Sandberg and Eric Schmidt are the visible billionaires. The real wealth? You've never heard their names. These are people whose wealth creates unique lifestyle challenges, privacy concerns, security requirements, and social dynamics that only apply to people worth over $1 billion. The Circus Club provides the only social infrastructure, operating as a private club so exclusive that membership requires billionaire-level wealth plus social connections within the tech elite. Greenwich, Connecticut operates where 1/3 of all office space houses hedge fund headquarters, creating a unique ecosystem where billionaires can literally live and work without encountering economic diversity. Hedge fund titans like Steve Cohen, worth over $20 billion, live alongside other billionaires who manage wealth for institutional clients and ultra-wealthy families. Private beaches, private clubs like the Greenwich Country Club, and private everything remain completely unremarkable to outsiders because the wealth concentration is so intense that luxury infrastructure becomes invisible. The Round Hill Club provides tennis and social activities for people whose net worth requires scientific notation to express accurately. Let that sink in. Jackson Hole, Wyoming generated over $1.6 billion in real estate sales from a population of 20,000 people, attracting billionaires and near billionaires who appreciate geographic isolation combined with world-class recreational amenities. The recent record sale of $57 million represents routine real estate transactions for people whose wealth makes such purchases feel like normal home buying. Level 4 is where billionaire psychology really kicks in, noted one wealth researcher. These are people whose wealth creates unique challenges that only other billionaires understand. They're not hiding from regular people. They're seeking communities where their wealth level feels normal. Limited inventory plus extreme terrain plus geographic isolation creates the ultimate exclusivity for people worth over $1 billion who want adventure combined with absolute privacy. Some ultra-wealthy individuals worth $500 million to $1 billion make the cut, but the culture is dominated by people whose wealth exceeds 10 figures. Telluride deserves deeper examination at this level, where median home prices of $4.8 million and ultra-luxury estates exceeding $40 million create a market so exclusive that only billionaires can afford the top-tier properties. The Four Seasons Private Residences project represents the first major residential development in over 15 years, specifically targeting people whose wealth allows them to purchase $50 million vacation homes without financial stress. Box Canyon geography makes expansion physically impossible. You literally cannot create more Telluride. Physics won't allow it. Billionaires love that. This permanent scarcity appeals to billionaires who collect rare assets, whether private islands, historic estates, or geographically constrained real estate that cannot be replicated. You cannot create more Telluride real estate, making it the ultimate scarcity investment for people whose wealth allows them to speculate with tens of millions. The drive requires 2.5 hours from any major city, with road closures in winter that create seasonal isolation, appealing to billionaires who want to completely disappear from public visibility. The permanent population of 2,500 residents means this is where people worth billions go when they want geographic isolation combined with world-class amenities. The Four Seasons project specifically targets ultra-high net worth individuals seeking quiet luxury, privacy, combined with amenities that cost more to maintain than most people earn annually. Ski-in, ski-out access, personal chefs, and climate-controlled wine cellars prove this isn't roughing it. This is disappearing in comfort that only billionaire-level wealth can support. Big Sky, Montana represents the newest billionaire frontier, attracting people whose wealth allows them to speculate on emerging luxury markets before they become fully established. The Yellowstone Club provides the ultimate exclusive experience, a private ski resort where membership costs over $400,000 and annual dues exceed $30,000, creating natural filtering for people whose wealth makes such expenses feel routine. Aspen's most exclusive enclaves like Red Mountain attract billionaires who think regular Aspen isn't exclusive enough, where properties routinely exceed $50 million and represent secondary or tertiary homes in portfolios that include multiple luxury properties worldwide. Geographic isolation creates natural gatekeeping that appeals to people whose wealth requires extreme privacy management, explained one mountain real estate specialist. These are billionaires who want adventure and recreation, but they need environments where their wealth level feels normal rather than exceptional. These are places where generational billionaires and inherited wealth families worth hundreds of millions to billions maintain traditions that matter more than current net worth. Social gatekeeping trumps financial gatekeeping. You could be a new tech billionaire worth $10 billion and still feel like an outsider compared to families worth only $500 million, but with centuries of social connections. Newport, Rhode Island operates where generational wealth goes to perform traditions that have remained unchanged since 1870. Gilded Age mansions command prices from $10 to $100 million, attracting people whose wealth spans generations rather than individual achievement. Stephen Schwartzman's $43 million purchase of adjacent estates represents typical transactions for people whose wealth allows them to maintain multiple historic properties as family legacy investments. Larry Ellison owns 4 properties here, consolidating an entire estate block for his $39 million art museum project. But even his tech billions must adapt to social structures established by families whose wealth predates the technology industry. These aren't homes, they're generational wealth preservation vehicles that happen to provide luxury accommodations. The Newport Country Club maintains membership standards that prioritize family lineage over current net worth, where families worth $500 million, but with century-long social connections, hold more social capital than new billionaires whose wealth lacks historical context. Tech billionaires aren't discovering Newport. They're desperately trying to buy their way into clubs that don't care about their LinkedIn profile. The New York Yacht Club's Newport station hosts regattas where participation requires social connections that span generations rather than just financial resources. Modern billionaires can write the check, but they can't buy the pedigree. Bar Harbor, Maine represents seasonal exclusivity where the 1947 fires destroyed most original mansions, making survivors command premium prices because historical scarcity combined with generational social connections creates value that new wealth cannot replicate. The seasonal population exists June through August only. This isn't year-round residence. It's inherited tradition that spans centuries. The Mount Desert Island Yacht Club provides social infrastructure for families whose wealth spans multiple generations, where membership depends more on family history than current financial statements. Yacht clubs, charity galas, and historic preservation societies create social calendars that function as generational wealth networking disguised as cultural activities. These places operate on generational wealth logic rather than individual achievement, observed one Newport Preservation Society member. Families worth hundreds of millions, but with century-long connections hold more social power than new billionaires whose wealth lacks historical legitimacy. Money gets you in the door, but family history determines your social standing. This is where accessibility ends entirely and billionaire-only culture begins. Geographic isolation plus extreme wealth requirements plus armed security creates communities where everyone is worth billions, and even other ultra-wealthy people cannot afford entry. Indian Creek Island operates as Miami's billionaire bunker, 300 acres of man-made barrier island with 41 residential properties, where the minimum entry cost of $50 million effectively filters for people worth multiple billions. It's incorporated as an independent village, with its own government, police force, and legal system that operates independently of Miami-Dade County. Recent sales include Jeff Bezos spending $237 million for 3 adjacent properties, Tom Brady's $17 million custom build, and Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner's $24 million estate. The median home price ranges from $50 to $300 million, creating a community where being worth only $1 billion makes you middle class by local standards. Residents-only golf course, residents-only country club, and private docks for mega yachts create infrastructure that exists solely for people whose wealth exceeds 10 figures. The Indian Creek Country Club provides social infrastructure where members discuss charitable foundations worth hundreds of millions, private art collections that rival museums, and which of their multiple billion-dollar business interests requires attention. This is where billionaires go when other exclusive communities still feel too accessible. The irony is chef's kiss. Billionaires buying here to escape public attention, except they're surrounded by other billionaires whose combined wealth exceeds most countries' GDP. It's exclusive because of math. If your net worth doesn't have enough zeros, the bridge literally won't let you across. Fisher Island offers even more exclusivity with 216 acres, fewer than 300 residences, and average home prices exceeding $20 million. Private ferry access means only residents are allowed, while some reports indicate it's more exclusive than Indian Creek because fewer people know it exists. The Fisher Island Club provides resort-style amenities for people whose wealth allows them to own resort-style assets as personal amenities. Malibu's ultra-exclusive compounds function as literal islands without being islands, where properties have only one access point: single driveway, private gates, private security, private beaches. These are people so wealthy they need protection from other wealthy people, where walls function as moats, protecting billionaires from people worth only hundreds of millions. Level 7 represents peak wealth concentration, explained one luxury security consultant. Everyone here is worth billions, not millions. The gatekeeping is complete. Geography plus extreme wealth requirements plus government-level security. It's not just exclusive. It's sovereign territory for people whose wealth rivals small nations. From Scottsdale's accessible luxury all the way to private islands where only multi-billionaires exist, the 7 levels of exclusive American towns reveal how wealth creates its own geography. Each level filters for progressively higher net worth, creating communities where your wealth level determines not just where you can afford to live, but where you'll feel comfortable living. Which level matches your wealth aspirations? Drop a comment with your choice. And if this opened your eyes to how America's wealth actually organizes itself, hit that subscribe button for more reality checks on American wealth concentration.